Stop. Right now, wherever you are, I need you to stop. Do not scroll past this moment. I am speaking to you with the urgency of a watchman who sees the storm before it hits. This specific moment did not find you by accident. The screen in front of you is a divine appointment that heaven arranged. I interrupted your timeline today to tell you something you desperately need to hear. You have been feeling a strange heaviness lately. The enemy has been trying to distract you with petty arguments and financial stress. He wants you exhausted so that you miss this exact moment of alignment. Do not let him win today. I have drawn you into this sanctuary of quietness to give you the key to your next season. If your heart is open, stay right where you are. There is a door in your life you keep staring at. You have been waiting for it to open for what feels like a lifetime. But confusion sets in right when you are about to step forward. It is not bad luck. It is a targeted spiritual distraction meant to pull you away from your blessing. Before you take another breath, I need you to give me your full attention. Because if you walk away from this message now, you risk walking right back into the snare I am trying to save you from. Hear me clearly today, my beloved child. Something serious is entering your life, and you must be prepared. The silence you walked through was not abandonment. It was a strict preparation for the exact shift happening today. I see the weight you carry on those tired shoulders. You smile during the day to protect the people around you, but I see the exhaustion that takes over when the door closes and you are finally alone. You are carrying a battle in your mind that was never yours to fight. Put that heavy weight down right now. You are safe in my presence. Do not let the noise of your day pull you away. I have a very specific instruction for you, but I must prepare your heart first. Listen until my final words. The very last revelation I share today is the exact key that unlocks the door you have been knocking on for years. If you leave early, you will leave the key behind. You were picked to see something rare today. Keep this close to your chest and do not share it with those who harbor doubt. The spiritual realm is watching your response in this very second. For years, you have watched doors close just before you could walk through them. You have worked harder than anyone else, only to watch the provision slip away. That was not your failure. That was a generational seal placed upon your bloodline. But I am here to tell you that the seal is breaking. I need you to stay with me through this entire message. The enemy is terrified that you are hearing my voice right now. He knows that once you receive this truth, his grip on your life is completely finished. You have entered a spiritual window where the trajectory of your next decade is being established. Everything you have endured was leading up to this precise intersection in time. I am not asking you to pause because your situation is ordinary. I am asking you to pause because you are closer to a massive breakthrough than you realize. Breathe slowly. Bring your racing thoughts back to me. Let my peace wash over your tired mind. You have been running for so long, and now it is time to rest and receive. Do not look away, and do not let your faith waver. The exact cause of your struggle is about to be exposed. We are going to break the chains together right now. If you feel a sudden warmth in your chest right now, do not brush it off. That is my presence, physically removing the yoke of anxiety from your body. The enemy wants you to believe that you are forgotten. He whispers lies in the dark, telling you that your prayers are just bouncing off the ceiling. But heaven has recorded every single tear you shed in secret. I am about to show you exactly how heaven is stepping in to fight this battle for you. Your season of waiting in the wilderness is officially coming to a close. But you must remain steadfast. Settle your spirit for a moment, because what I am about to reveal changes absolutely everything. You are my chosen one, and your time is now. Now quiet your mind and step further in. What I am about to show you is not what you expected. Breathe deeply right now, my beloved child. Let us look at the heavy burdens you have been carrying in the dark. I want to speak directly to the silent ache you hide behind your smile, because you have been trying to be strong for everyone else for so long. I saw the tears you cried in the secret hours of the night. Everyone else was sleeping, and you felt entirely alone in your quiet room. You stared at the ceiling, wondering if anyone truly understood your deep pain. I watched you wipe those tears away before the sun came up. You thought nobody noticed your silent struggle, but I noticed every single second of your hidden sorrow. I watched you put on a brave face the very next morning. You stepped out into the world to take care of everyone around you, but your own spirit was completely exhausted. You have been carrying the emotional weight of your entire family. You thought it was your holy duty to fix what is broken in them. You smiled brightly during the day, but I see the heavy exhaustion that takes over when the door closes. You are a weary warrior who has fought too many battles, completely alone. Your armor is heavy, and your spirit is bruised from the constant attacks of the enemy. You give so much of your energy to others, and you are left with absolutely nothing for yourself at the end of the day. Pause right here and read my words carefully. Do not rush past this divine validation. I need you to understand that your feelings are entirely real. You are not crazy for feeling this drained, because the enemy wants you to think you are just weak. He whispers dark lies in your mind, telling you that you are failing because you cannot keep up with the endless demands. But that is a vicious lie. You are tired because you have been loving people who do not know how to love you back. You have been pouring fresh water into empty cups, while your own soul is dying of thirst in the desert. The world takes your kindness for granted. They see your silent endurance every single day, and they mistake it for an endless supply of supernatural strength that never runs out. Listen closely, because we need to address the deepest wound. I know exactly why you are so afraid right now. You are terrified of opening your heart to something new. Every time you hoped for a beautiful miracle in the past, you were met with deep and painful disappointment. You have learned to expect the worst just to protect yourself from the sudden pain. Your hands are tightly closed because you are afraid to receive. You push away good opportunities because you fear they will vanish. The enemy has conditioned you to fear the very blessings you prayed for. He used your past trauma to build a massive wall around your faith, and now you find it incredibly hard to trust my perfect timing. Breathe, my child, and bring your racing thoughts back to me. Let go of the tight tension in your shoulders right now. It is incredibly exhausting to live in constant defense mode. You are always waiting for the next bad thing to happen, because life has taught you that peace never lasts for very long. You analyze every situation because you do not want to be caught off guard again. I want you to stop seeing your past through the eyes of fear. You are deeply misunderstood by the very people you love the most. I saw the betrayals that broke something fragile inside your heart. I watched the ones you trusted become the source of your deepest wounds. Your pure loyalty was rewarded with cold indifference, and they harshly judged your actions without ever trying to understand the real story. Yet you chose to carry that pain quietly. You refused to become bitter even when they handed you every reason to absolutely hate them. The world only saw your silence, but heaven saw your beautiful worship, and we recorded your unyielding grace in the books of eternity. You have been asking me why the pain had to be so deep, and you wonder why the fire was so incredibly hot. Do not let your mind wander right now. We are touching the very core of your hidden sorrow. You feel like you are always the one giving and never the one receiving. When you fell down, there was nobody there to pick you up. You had to wipe your own tears and bandage your own bleeding wounds, while everyone else walked by without offering a single hand to help. But I was sitting right there with you on the cold floor. When you cried into your pillow, my comforting presence was wrapping around you. You could not feel me because your emotional pain was so incredibly loud. The trauma created a thick fog over your spiritual senses, but I never left your side for a single fraction of a second. I was collecting your tears. You are allowed to be tired today. I give you full permission to take off your heavy armor and just breathe. You do not have to fix anyone else right now. You do not have to pretend that everything is perfectly fine, because it is perfectly acceptable to admit that you are completely empty. I am not angry at your temporary weakness. In fact, your vulnerability is exactly what I need. A closed hand cannot receive the fresh water I am pouring out. You must acknowledge the silent ache before we can truly heal the root of it. The enemy is terrified that you are finally confronting this hidden pain, because he knows that validated pain turns into an unstoppable prophetic power. If you feel your heart beating faster right now, do not ignore it. It is the Holy Spirit stirring those sealed-off layers of your fragile soul. We are exposing the dark lies that kept you bound in constant fear. Stay with me, because the reason the enemy fought you so hard is about to be completely revealed. You are much closer to the final truth than you think. Listen carefully as we move forward. The season of feeling inadequate and broken is officially expiring today. You are a rare soul, designed for a specific and mighty divine purpose. I am about to peel back the heavy curtain on the unseen realm, so do not let your attention drift away. The exact cause of your financial block and emotional drain is what we will dismantle next. Now hear me on this, and hear it clearly. I want you to stop seeing your past through the eyes of fear. The enemy has lied to you about your season of waiting. He convinced you that your deep pain was a punishment for your past mistakes, and he wants you to believe that you are permanently broken. But that is a cruel illusion, meant to keep you trapped in shame. The dark shadow whispered that you do not deserve to be happy. He pointed at every single flaw and magnified every tiny failure. You started to agree with his toxic lies in the silence of your room. You convinced yourself that you are just not good enough to receive massive blessings, and you accepted poverty as your permanent earthly destiny. But let us go deeper into the unseen realm right now. The enemy did not attack your finances and your peace because you are weak. He attacked you because you are incredibly powerful. He saw the generational blessing that you are about to unlock, and it completely terrified him to see your vast potential. He had to stop you before you realized your true authority. Pause right here. Bring your wandering thoughts back to my voice. Do not miss this next part because it is absolutely vital for your freedom. You have been carrying a false sense of guilt for things you could not control. The heavy delays in your life were not my abandonment. They were intense, spiritual warfare over your divine destiny. You are my chosen one. The attacks were so severe because your calling is exceptionally great. A minor threat does not require a massive army to defeat it. The enemy sent his heaviest storms into your life because you carry a rare light that threatens his entire dark kingdom. He wanted to crush your spirit so you would never step into your rightful inheritance. He made you feel like an imposter in your own life. When small victories finally arrived, you immediately looked for the hidden catch. You expected the other shoe to drop because peace always felt suspicious. That constant anxiety is a chain forged in the fires of hell, and it was designed to keep your hands tightly closed so you cannot receive my pure grace. I need you to release that false guilt right now. You are not responsible for the massive storms that hit your family. You did not cause the cruel rejections that broke your fragile heart. The enemy used those painful events to plant dark seeds of unworthiness deep inside your soul. But those toxic seeds are being uprooted today by my holy fire. Breathe slowly, my child. If you feel a sudden peace right now, do not ignore it. That is the heavy veil of deception lifting off your tired mind. You are starting to see the brutal truth behind the long battle. Before I show you the final breakthrough, you must understand the exact weapon that was formed against you. Listen closely to these next few words. Your value before me is completely fixed. You do not have to earn my love through endless sacrifice and painful suffering. Your worth was established before you ever drew your first breath on this earth. The enemy told you that you are a miserable failure, but I say you are a mighty warrior who survived the hardest training ground imaginable. The heavy resistance you faced was proof of your massive value. Thieves do not break into empty houses. The spiritual thief targeted your life because your soul is filled with priceless heavenly treasures. He tried to steal your joy and bankrupt your faith before you could ever use them, but his desperate plan has officially failed today. Do not let your mind wander here. We are actively breaking the mental chains that kept you bound for decades. Every time you thought you were not enough, you were actually agreeing with the enemy. But today we cancel that dark agreement forever. The spiritual realm is shaking as you finally recognize your true identity as a royal heir. You are not broken, you are remade, and the one who remade you does not make mistakes. The enemy wants you to focus on the deep scars, so you ignore the healing power. But I want you to look at those scars as permanent proof of your incredible survival. Stay with me. The profound mystery behind heaven's silence is what we will uncover next. But let us go deeper into the mystery of your past. The long silence you experienced was not a brutal punishment. It was a holy preparation. You remember those dark nights when you cried out for a simple answer. You screamed into the empty void, and you heard nothing but the cold echo of your own broken voice bouncing off the dark walls. You felt completely abandoned. The enemy used that heavy silence to break your spirit. He told you that heaven had finally turned its back on you. You started to believe that you were totally forgotten, but I was actively working in the unseen realm during every single moment of that agonizing quietness. I was busy arranging your magnificent rescue behind the heavy curtains. Pause right here and bring your focus back to my words. Do not let the painful memories distract your mind. You looked at that dry wilderness and saw only devastating loss. But I want you to see what was actually growing beneath the hard soil, because the intense pressure was not meant to crush you but to forge you into unbreakable steel. You are a rare vessel of my divine power. A vessel that carries massive authority must be purified in the hottest flames. That long and silent season was the refiner's fire. I did not put you in the roaring furnace just to burn you alive. I allowed you to step into the flames so that the heavy chains binding you would finally melt away into absolute nothingness. You wonder why the people you loved so deeply walked away. You asked me why your closest friends suddenly turned into bitter strangers. Their sudden departure left a massive hole in your fragile heart. You thought it was a cruel curse that ruined your earthly happiness, but that painful isolation was actually my divine protection, placing a heavy shield over your future. I had to forcefully remove those toxic connections from your life. They were never meant to enter the promised land with you. If they had stayed, they would have completely poisoned the pure harvest. The painful pruning was absolutely necessary for your spiritual survival, and I was simply clearing the heavy brush so you could walk down your new path without stumbling. Listen closely, because the next few words are crucial. You are the generational cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. That is a massive responsibility that requires absolute spiritual purity. You could not carry the toxic habits of your dark past into this glorious new chapter. The heavy isolation forced you to depend entirely on my voice when everything else went totally quiet. Breathe, my child, and let this profound truth settle in. A wise teacher is always completely silent during a final exam. My silence was not a sign of my angry absence. It was the ultimate proof of my absolute trust in your spiritual strength, because I knew you would survive the brutal storm even when you felt like you were drowning in the dark water. You proved the Dark Kingdom wrong time and time again. The enemy threw his best weapons at your tired mind. You completely refused to break. You stumbled and you cried, but you never completely surrendered your deep faith. Your silent endurance in the dark is the exact reason you are fully qualified to receive this massive upcoming blessing without any further delay. Do not let your mind wander right now. The heavy pressure you felt in your chest was just your spiritual capacity expanding. A tiny cup cannot hold a massive ocean of fresh water. I had to stretch your soul through intense adversity. This was so you could safely handle the immense weight of the glory coming your way without completely shattering into pieces. I saw how deeply the long process hurt your human heart. I know it felt incredibly unfair to watch wicked people prosper. You suffered quietly, in the cold shadows. You played by all the spiritual rules, and you still lost everything you tried to build. Meanwhile, those who lied and cheated seemed to get absolutely everything they ever wanted in this life. But earthly justice is a tiny illusion compared to eternal vindication. Those people who mocked your pure faith will soon watch my favor overflow in your life. The long season of hiding is officially over. The refiner's fire has successfully burned away all the weak impurities, and what remains today is solid gold that no earthly storm can ever destroy or wash away. Take a deep and slow breath right now. If your hands are closed tightly, I want you to gently open them. The intense heat of the roaring furnace is rapidly cooling down in the unseen realm. The painful test is concluding and the spiritual grading is already finished. You passed the hardest trial with a beautifully broken but totally willing heart. Stay with me because the massive shift is approaching. The heavy silence is finally being broken by the beautiful sound of rushing water. Heaven is officially opening its heavy doors. Every single tear you cried in the furnace was carefully collected, and I have turned those bitter tears into a powerful seed of absolute financial and emotional restoration for your future. Before I show you the final breakthrough, you must understand one more secret. The enemy is desperately trying to pull you back into the dirty ashes. He wants you to look backward and mourn the painful losses, but you cannot drive into a glorious new future while staring intensely at the broken rearview mirror, because that will only cause you to crash again. You have walked through the terrifying valley of deep shadows. You did not let the thick darkness consume your rare soul. The heavy chains of your ancient ancestors are brittle and completely ready to snap. The long and painful drought taught you how to deeply appreciate the coming rain, and your spiritual roots went much deeper into the soil than anyone else around you. Now hear me clearly as we approach the final threshold. The painful memories of your silent years are losing their toxic grip. You will soon look back at the blazing furnace and feel nothing but immense gratitude. Hold your ground right here. The exact nature of your massive deliverance is what I will reveal to you next in this divine appointment. The season of heavy preparation is over. The dark page is turning right now in the unseen realm. I need you to stand incredibly firm, my child. We are standing on the very edge of your promised land. The long wait is finished, and the heavy chains of your past are brittle and completely ready to shatter into a million tiny pieces. But before the final wall falls, you must completely shift your perspective. You cannot enter this new chapter with the mindset of a defeated victim. The enemy wants you to crawl into your blessing, feeling entirely unworthy. He wants you to apologize for taking up space, and he hopes you will sabotage the miracle before it even fully manifests in your hands. I will not allow him to steal this moment. Bring your thoughts into absolute alignment with my voice right now. You are an heir to a massive kingdom. You are not a spiritual beggar hoping for a tiny crumb to fall from the table. The massive feast was prepared specifically for you, and your royal seat has been waiting empty for decades while you wandered in the cold desert. Pause right here. Take a deep breath and let your shoulders drop. Feel the heavy tension leaving your tired muscles. The thick spiritual fog that clouded your mind is completely lifting away. You are suddenly seeing the entire battlefield with absolute clarity, and you realize that the giant standing in your way is actually terrified of your hidden power. The enemy's final tactic is extreme intimidation. He creates loud noises and dark shadows to make you think he is entirely unstoppable, but he is just a defeated liar hiding behind a very thin curtain. His entire dark strategy relies on your deep fear. If you stop being afraid of his loud threats, his entire kingdom immediately collapses into absolute dust. Listen closely, because your true authority is waking up. The heavy seal that kept your bloodline in constant poverty is a spiritual contract, but that dark contract was signed with the ink of cruel deception. The enemy tricked your ancestors into believing they were cursed, and he passed that toxic lie down to you so you would quietly accept a life of endless struggle. You accepted the heavy lack as your normal reality. You thought the constant financial drain was just your unfortunate earthly luck, but we are officially breaking that illegal contract right now. You have the absolute authority to evict the thief from your spiritual house, and I am giving you the divine backing to totally enforce that righteous eviction today. Do not let your mind wander here. This is the exact moment the enemy hoped you would lose focus. He is trying to make you think about your unpaid bills and your massive stress. Push those dark thoughts away immediately. You are stepping into a realm where earthly logic no longer applies, and supernatural provision is about to completely override your natural lack. You are the designated curse breaker for your entire family line. What stops with you will never again touch your future children. The dark cycle of heavy debt and emotional depression ends at your feet. You are drawing a permanent line in the spiritual sand right now, and the dark forces are absolutely forbidden from crossing that holy boundary ever again. Breathe, my child. The heavy air in your room is changing. The oppressive weight is being replaced by a rushing wind of total freedom. This is not a promise for tomorrow. This is a prophetic decree for this very second. Prepare your heart for the massive sound of breaking chains. Stay with me, because the final shift you have prayed for is erupting right now. Hear me now. The season of your breaking is officially over. Right now, in the unseen realm, the heavy seal is shattering. The loud sound of breaking chains is echoing through the dark halls, and I am tearing down the invisible walls that kept you trapped in a vicious cycle of endless poverty while you cried out for my help. You are no longer a prisoner. The heavy pain ends with you today. I am actively overturning the dark verdict that was spoken over your fragile life. And the spiritual thief is absolutely panicking because his illegal reign of terror has completely collapsed in this very second. He cannot touch your future anymore. The doors that were violently slammed are blown wide open. I am removing the heavy locks. Your rightful inheritance is fully unguarded. The golden opportunities that slipped through your tired fingers are coming back to you right now. You are going to watch my sudden favor completely bypass the normal laws of human logic, and the earthly timing will bend to my holy will. Do not look for natural explanations. The worldly logic will only confuse you. What was stolen from you is being returned with supernatural interest. I am restoring the lost years that the dark locusts destroyed while you wept in secret. You thought you were running completely out of time, but I control the massive clock, and I am accelerating your divine harvest right now. Breathe deeply. Completely receive this truth. If your hands are shaking slightly, it is because your spirit recognizes the massive shift. The heavy yoke of anxiety is falling off your tired shoulders. It is crumbling into dust. The enemy has lost his tight grip on your mind, and he can no longer torment you with those cruel visions of future failure. You are not a helpless victim. You are a royal HEIR. Your kingdom is filled with unlimited abundance. Every tear you cried in the dark has watered the seeds of this exact breakthrough. The dry soil of your life is suddenly cracking open, and a massive flood of pure heavenly provision is rushing into your empty valleys today. I am confusing your hidden enemies. Those who secretly plotted your downfall will stand completely paralyzed. They will watch in total shock. I am elevating you to a position of incredible honor and massive spiritual authority. Your pure vindication is not a distant promise because it is happening right before their extremely jealous eyes today. Do not shrink back in fear. The massive blessing is arriving. The enemy wants you to feel entirely unworthy of this sudden overflow. He will whisper that it is a terrible mistake. But I decree that this new provision is entirely permanent, and no dark force in hell has the authority to steal what I have officially sealed. The long nights of crying are finished. Your heavy sorrow is being replaced. I am giving you a joy that makes absolutely no earthly sense. The people around you will constantly ask how you found such deep peace in the middle of a raging storm. You will simply tell them that heaven stepped down and fought the violent battle on your weary behalf. Stand tall, my beloved child. You are stepping out of the dark wilderness. Welcome to your bright promised land. The financial blockages that caused you so much panic are completely dissolving in my holy fire. I am releasing hidden resources and sending divine connections that will totally transform your daily reality in a sudden flash. You do not have to struggle anymore. The brutal grind is completely over. The heavy curse of constant toil is broken off your tired hands. I am commanding the massive wealth of the wicked to be transferred directly into the hands of the righteous. You are the faithful steward I have chosen, and I am filling your empty baskets until they completely overflow onto the floor. Let this profound truth settle in. Your weary bones are fully healing. The heavy fog of confusion is completely burning away. You will wake up tomorrow with absolute clarity about your divine purpose and your next physical steps. The dark shadow of depression cannot survive in the blinding light of my glorious presence that now completely surrounds you. I saw your quiet faithfulness. Nobody else was watching you. You gave your last dollar when you were completely empty yourself. You sincerely prayed for others when your own fragile heart was bleeding profusely. That beautiful, pure sacrifice has reached my heavenly throne, and it has finally unlocked a massive window of blessing that no human hand can ever shut. The massive storm is completely empty. It has run out of violent rain. The dark clouds are breaking apart. My brilliant light is shining directly on your path. You are crossing over from a season of brutal survival into a beautiful era of absolute thriving. The enemy is completely defeated and his cruel weapons have turned to pure ash. Do not let a single doubt enter. Your mind is a sacred space. Your total victory was guaranteed the moment you chose to stay in my presence today. I am actively rewriting your entire future while you listen to the sound of my voice. The bitter chapters of your past are permanently closed, and the fresh ink on your new glorious story is completely dry. Feel the incredible warmth expanding. Your chest is physically reacting. That is the clear manifestation of my Holy Spirit, completely filling your empty vessel. The heavy trauma that lived in your body is being violently washed away by my healing water. You are receiving a brand new heart that is no longer afraid to trust my divine protection. I am raising you up now. You will be a shining beacon. Your broken family will look to you for absolute spiritual guidance. You will be the one who lends to many and borrows from absolutely no one. The cycle of endless lack is completely severed from your bloodline today, and your children will walk in pure abundance because you chose to stand firm. The enemy wants to silence you. Your powerful testimony terrifies him. He knows that when you speak the truth about this miracle, other captives will be set entirely free. But I have placed a loud roar of holy confidence deep inside your spirit. You will declare my massive goodness in the middle of the assembly, and your fierce enemies will scatter in absolute terror. You survived the very worst attacks. They threw everything at you, but you are still standing and your beautiful spirit remains completely unbroken. The dark fires could not consume you, and the deep waters could not drown your rare faith. You have emerged from the brutal wilderness, carrying the massive spoils of a totally victorious spiritual war. This is the exact moment. The earth shakes on your behalf. The heavy iron gates are opening without you even having to push them. I have dispatched my heavenly angels to clear every single obstacle from your immediate path. You will walk completely unhindered into the massive destiny that I originally ordained for you before the world even began. Receive this explosive power right now. Open your empty hands wide. Let go of the invisible shield you have been hiding behind. The long time for hiding in the dark cave is totally over. I am calling you out into the bright light to receive your royal crown, because you are a victorious conqueror and your inheritance is fully secured. Every lie is completely uprooted. The enemy planted weeds in vain. You are worthy of immense joy, and you are deserving of profound peace. The sudden miracles flooding into your life are the direct result of your beautiful, unwavering trust. I am opening the floodgates of heaven and pouring out a massive blessing that you will not have room to store. Soak in this magnificent reality. The long, excruciating wait is over. The heavy delay is officially cancelled. Your spiritual bank account is overflowing with the massive rewards of your silent endurance. The dark season of lack is a distant memory, and you are stepping into a beautiful new realm of effortless heavenly grace right now. As my peace completely settles over you right now, we must take one final step together. The massive spiritual victory we just declared requires a physical action of deep faith. You have been fighting a defensive battle for a very long time. Your tired hands are tightly clenched into heavy fists because you are constantly bracing for the next painful blow. But I need you to understand a vital spiritual truth today. A hand that tightly grips the illusions of the past cannot receive the massive harvest I am dropping from heaven. You are holding on to your fear because it feels like a protective shield, but that fear is actually a heavy cage keeping you trapped in the dark valley. You must open the cage right now. It is incredibly terrifying to lower your heavy guard after being attacked so many times. You are deeply afraid to receive because every past promise ended in bitter disappointment. The enemy wants you to stay in that defensive posture forever. He knows that if you refuse to open your hands, the massive blessing will simply fall right onto the cold ground. I promised you a specific key at the very beginning of this divine message. You stayed with me through the intense fire, and now it is time to reveal that hidden key. The absolute secret to unlocking your massive provision is total and complete surrender. You must stop trying to control the chaotic winds and let me steer your heavy ship into the safe harbor. Surrender is not a sign of miserable weakness. It is the most powerful act of holy defiance you can possibly take against the dark kingdom. When you completely let go, you are telling the enemy that his threats no longer control your daily decisions. You are proving that you trust my divine protection more than you fear his loud and empty earthly noises. I want you to perform a simple prophetic act with me right now. Close your eyes slowly and take a very deep breath. Hold it for just a brief second before you gently let it out. If you feel a sudden lightness falling over your weary shoulders, do not ignore it. That is the physical manifestation of your heavy burden finally leaving your tired human body. Now physically open your empty hands wherever you are sitting or standing. Turn your palms upward toward heaven as a silent declaration of your absolute trust. This physical posture breaks the invisible chains of poverty and severe emotional lack. You are signaling to the spiritual realm that you are finally ready to catch the magnificent pouring rain. Look at your open hands and realize they are no longer tied down. The generational fear of not having enough is completely washing away in this holy river. You do not need to hoard your remaining energy or fiercely guard your fragile emotions anymore. The infinite supply of heaven is backing you up, and you will never run out of pure grace again. The enemy is desperately whispering one last toxic lie into your ear. He is telling you that if you relax, you will be brutally attacked again. but you are standing inside my fortress of absolute safety now. The heavy iron doors are firmly locked behind you, and the dark wolves cannot touch you while you rest comfortably in my glorious royal presence. It is entirely safe to let your walls crumble into dust. The heavy armor you wore for the last 10 years is completely obsolete in this beautiful new chapter. You are stepping into a profound season of effortless receiving. You will no longer have to violently kick down heavy doors, because they will simply swing open when you gently walk toward them. But you must officially cross the final threshold today. Do not let this holy window close without marking your prophetic alignment. The entire spiritual realm is watching your response in this exact moment. I need you to seal this powerful covenant with a public declaration of your unyielding faith. Your spoken word carries immense creative authority. I want you to step boldly through the final pathway I have opened for you. Go down into the comments below and write a specific decree to completely seal this shift. Write this exact phrase to claim your victory. I completely release my fear, and I receive my massive breakthrough today. Typing those words is not just a meaningless earthly action. When you publicly declare your trust, you completely silence the lying enemy. You establish a permanent monument of victory in the unseen realm. Do not let hesitation steal this incredible moment of freedom. The dark shadows want you to stay totally quiet, so your powerful miracle remains completely hidden. But your loud declaration brings it into the light. Do not just listen to these words and quietly walk away. Faith requires a physical movement to firmly anchor the spiritual reality into your physical world. Leave a heart in the comments as a silent but powerful act of absolute surrender. Prove to the enemy that the heavy fear of lack no longer controls your magnificent and radiant eternal destiny. You have carried the excruciating weight for far too long. The transaction of pure faith is officially complete in the heavens. The massive burden has been successfully transferred from your tired shoulders onto my strong back. You can finally breathe easy knowing that the terrible war is over. Your active surrender has permanently secured your glorious victory. The healing oil is completely covering your deep emotional wounds right now. The broken pieces of your fragile heart are being fused back together with solid gold. You are stepping out of the dark grave and walking directly into the bright morning sun. Keep your hands open and keep your spirit entirely receptive to the daily miracles that are coming next. You have officially broken the brutal cycle of endless generational pain. Every time you feel the old fear trying to creep back in, simply look at your open hands. Remind yourself that you have already surrendered the entire chaotic outcome to the ultimate creator. The massive provision you desperately need is already in motion and traveling directly to you. The heavy storms are finally completely behind you today. You are stepping into a beautiful season of absolute peace. Let your weary mind completely rest right now. Do not worry about the unexpected challenges of tomorrow, because I have already walked ahead of you and perfectly prepared the way. You can sleep incredibly well in your bed tonight. The heavy burden has been entirely lifted from your tired shoulders. You are completely safe wrapped in my loving arms. I speak a profound blessing over your physical home right now. The heavenly angels are actively guarding your front doors. Nothing dark can ever enter your sacred space again. Your family is completely covered by my divine protection. The heavy generational curse is completely shattered in the unseen realm, and a beautiful new legacy of pure joy is beginning with you today. Walk forward into the light with absolute holy confidence. You are my rare and incredibly beautiful chosen one. Your future is brighter than you can possibly imagine right now. Trust this divine process and let my pure love wash away the remaining shadows. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you will feel a massive difference. The heavy air in your room will feel significantly lighter, and your tired spirit will be completely renewed with fresh, holy energy for the journey. If this message brought comfort to your weary soul, I ask you to share it. Send this to another tired warrior who desperately needs to hear my voice today. We run entirely on viewer support, and your simple act of sharing helps this prophetic ministry reach the forgotten souls who are crying out in the dark. Subscribe to this channel to stay closely connected to my daily prophetic guidance. You are never walking alone in this cold world. My holy presence remains permanently attached to your spirit. Keep your beautiful hands open and watch the magnificent miracles unfold in your daily life. I love you with an everlasting love that nothing can ever destroy, and I will continue to fight your invisible battles while you rest in my grace. Go forward in absolute peace and receive everything I have promised you today.